fight for.
Good evening, race fans. Stint 6 coming up very, very soon. I'm going to try something. I don't know if it's going to work. If it does work, it's going to look awesome, and you're going to think I'm brilliant. If it doesn't work, I'm just going to tell you I fucked it up. But check this out. Boom. Look at that. How do you like them apples? So on the right-hand side, we have the current live for Stint 6, and on the left, we have Stint 5. I know the margins aren't great and stuff, but I kind of knocked it up lastminute.com to see if it would work. Like it a lot. I haven't added any audio to it, so you've only got me. You're not going to hear. That's back. Can you hear me back now? Just realised my mic was miles away. Just dropped something on the floor. Don't know what that was. Right. How's my mic levels sounding? Seems a bit low. Let's have a little looky see. Oh, hang on. It will disappear when I'm playing with the settings because I haven't sorted it out yet. That's not right. That's not right. I'll tell you what the problem is. Right now, hang on. Because it should be that microphone. How's that? Is that better? Yeah. I think it's better. Yes, it is better, much better. I was using the wrong microphone. What an absolute knob jockey. I have two microphones, you see, because I'm special. Right, how's that? So there's the two sides of what's going on. I'm with Philo Engineering, because obviously Philo Engineering will be first out. His teammate is currently in the lead by a significant amount at the moment. So he will be jumping out first. We have the ability to talk to others now. We will do that once the race is underway, and we are going. We'll have a look, see if there's any battles. If there's no battles, we'll just get waffling, shall we? But how about that? I've got it working. Stint 5 on the left, Stint 6 on the right. Good start, apart from the sound thing, but everything else was a good start. How about that? Yeah. So it's been good so far, isn't it? 10 hours, almost 10 hours up of the race. I think they're on the last lap, aren't they? Yes. Well, no, lap 48, nearly lap 58. Sorry, one more lap to go for the TDR design team, and then Philo will get to have his crack at setting super hot lap. We didn't see a sub 2 minute this time out in the final stint with Jaeger. Jaeger and Pony are always difficult acts to follow. They're so good, so knowledgeable, and don't fill the gap with and swearing. There we go. I had my curry, by the way, and it was yummy. I really enjoyed it. Not as hot as I expected. I do like a hot curry, but this one was quite tame by comparison to what they normally do. It was coffee for the last stint. It's a nice big bottle of Desperado for the final stint. So I will slowly get shoveled, and hopefully by now I shouldn't get too drunk by the end of the race. It's only a couple of beers. I should be fine. I am on painkillers as well, but sod it. Live a little. I live a little. Interesting, isn't it? If you look there at the fuel, everyone except MK is on 99% fuel. MK 100%. Probably fuel saved his way around that lap, didn't he? Or did he put fuel? He might have put fuel in, actually. Or he couldn't have done, because he'd be leaving the pits then, wouldn't he? Interesting. It'd be good to see if any of these gaps get closed up from the start. because at the moment we can see there's some quite big gaps on the racetrack at the minute. People are all over the place, all spread out. But it'd be good to see. I mean, we haven't had a safety car, which is always good for closing the field up. It's a good thing we haven't had a safety car. It means the quality of driving's been better. I'm not a big fan of safety cars in this game anyway. I think unless the game provides it, I think it's a bit of a pain in the arse to operate. So, yeah, not a huge fan of the safety car kind of scenario. I think, we're big enough and ugly enough to be able to police it ourselves. And I think if you crash, you crash. It's kind of occupational hazard, I suppose. In comes... you can see that on the left-hand side, in comes the TDR design car, and hopefully we should see, there should be a seamless movement of one in and one out, if it works. If it works, please let it work. Come on, into your pit box. One in, and... Why are you not leaving? 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 Why is he not leaving? He's not leaving. He's staying there. What's going on? He should be leaving the pits now, but he's not. Well, there's maybe there's a delay. Maybe that's the problem. It might be a little bit of a delay with the broadcast. There we go. Anyway, moving swiftly on, shall we? I tried it. It worked, kind of. It kind of worked, didn't it? There we go. Right, we're on. We're off. We're racing. How's about that then? I did try. I've got time. I've got a month to perfect it, haven't I? I've got until is it a month, isn't it, till the next one? I don't know. Got time to perfect it and make sure it works. Right, let's have a look at the chat. What's occurring in the chat? Not much, I imagine, at this point. Helps if I'm actually in the chat. Nothing. Nada. Zero. Nobody talking to me. What's occurring, man? So, Feeling Engineering is out. Next will be MK will be out. So, we've got a return of MK. Now, he wasn't super quick in that last stint. So it'd be interesting to see if he does find a way to improve on his pace and get himself out on the track and try and close that gap on Philo Engineering. I think it's an insurmountable gap, to be fair. It's not going to be easy to get even close, I think. I think it's going to be an incredibly complex, difficult task at this stage. Who knows? Who knows what can happen? We are, of course, racing, and when you're racing, anything can happen, can it not? To be fair, that's the first time I've done it. I've done it with another group that I broadcast for. We did it back when there was big lobby problems. We did it then. We actually did the same race with a dual cam. So both of us in the lobby. Oh no, we did it from. It was from. There was two of us in the lobby. There was two spaces in the lobby, so we did dual cammed it. So I did the one end of the field, he did the other. We did some on boards and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not easy to do when when one of you's broadcasting directly and one's broadcasting through a PC. It does require a little bit of fiddling. And you get the delay problem as well, of course. But if you're both broadcasting the same, then onto a PC, then it's much easier to do, because essentially the footage can be sent direct and put into the stream. But yeah, work in progress, mate. Work in progress. Loving it. Be good if all the broadcasting's done through Discord as well, because Discord's actually linked to the PlayStation. So there's no reason why you couldn't do the comms on Discord. We'll work it out. We'll come up with a plan and it'll be brilliant, and everyone will praise me and tell me how cool I am. Right, so MK is now out. There's two cars on the track. The gap is significant. Listen, it's been closed down a little bit. When I left at the end of stint 4, it was like 2 years or something like that, 65 light years, distance between Saturn and the Earth. But it's down to like 2.5 minutes now. It's all weather. MK's got the pace to catch Philo Engineering, and we'll soon see now what Philo Engineering's got up his sleeve in terms of lap time, and this is the first opportunity we're going to have to see that as he comes through. I think it's going to be Tim Law next, isn't it? If I remember rightly. I can't remember. It's been a long day. This is like my third broadcast of the day. I've been basically 6 hours waffling bullshit to a microphone in my front room. Yeah, it's not super difficult to do, to be fair, but yeah, it is a lot easier if you're both broadcasting in the same way. But I mean that's something for the future. We'll see what we will see. So there's an indicative lap time from Philo, and that is a 2:01.1. Well, you speak to the boss man. I'm just the hired helpmate. I'm the one that just shouts at them and tells them how stupid they are or how rubbish they are. There definitely will be opportunities. They do placement tests anyway, so as many teams as want to can enter, and it's the top 14 that go in. I am of the mind, and I'm quite vocal about it. I've been quite vocal about it across all the endurance series that I've been involved in, is that there seems to be this thing that you can enter 2, 3, 4, 5 teams, however many, if they're fast enough they get in. I think there should be a caveat that if you have more than the 14 teams enter, then sorry, let me rephrase that. If you have less than 14 individual teams, but they have 2 or 3 teams they want to field, then it should be for the first 14 unique teams get in. So if you've got, let's say 12 teams want to enter a team or 2 into a series, the number 1 team gets in first of every team that wants to enter, and then whatever space is left are then allocated to number 2 teams. And I think that's a much fairer way of doing it. There's an issue with GTEC with Black Flag that I have mentioned, that we missed out. There was 16 people entered, 15 people turned up for the placement test for 14 places. Our top driver got called into work at the very last minute and couldn't make the placement test, and we missed out on a place in the series by 1/10 of a second. But in that series there are 3 teams fielding 2 or more groups of drivers, and to me that felt a little bit unfair that you've got, there's one team with 3, there's a couple of teams with 2, and you feel that it would have been nicer if they could have had all those individual teams and then fill it up with the B teams. And as it turned out now, our best driver is substituted into one of those B teams to cover, which is, I don't know, a bit odd for my like. Not odd that he's doing that. I mean, no, he wants to race in it. I don't blame him at all. But I think it's odd that you've got a driver that would be in it anyway, that isn't racing with the team he actually races with. There we go. Right, so Tim Law is out, up into 3rd. Did a really good job in that 4th stint, and his teammate has kept him in the running for that top 3. 4 minutes, though, behind the front, so that's a lot of work he's going to have to put in for the Clockwork Racing team to close that up. DCT, that's Ciro back in the fight. Pastina, another fantastic run from Pastina. He's been solid all day, and yeah, it's 14 because you need space for hosts and stuff. Right, yeah, so we've got Ciro running in 4th. Chica, I love the name Chica, is now out. He's in that beautiful pink Porsche, and that was an awesome. What was the word I was looking for? Also, his teammate did put an awesome stint in stint 4, kept him in running. He's 43 seconds now. Excuse me, 43 seconds now behind Ciro. So a bit of work to do. What was I going to do? Keyboard, there we go. Mornata, he's back in. The Italian, the speedy Italian. 1 minute 41. How close can he get? How close can he get that BMW to the back of Chica's Porsche? Certainly some opportunities. I'm just wondering where there is going to be opportunities for some of these drivers to close the gaps. Don't know how close these guys are. We've got Redder there. Yeah, we've got Redder there in the French driver. And I apologise for the shouting upstairs. Mike and my girls are messing around up there. I don't know if you could hear it. I bloody can. And I don't want to. But there we go. It is what it is. Yes, we're still waiting for Reddit to come out. How close are these two to each other? Hijack Patty, he's back in. Brumadinho, he's the lesser-known brother of Ronaldinho, apparently. That may or may not be true. Carl David from the Netherlands, he is waiting to come out, as well as is Natty and Brent. I don't know if it's David Brent or any other Brent. We are down to 13 of the 14 teams that started. The McLaren runners had enough of the shenanigans of trying to drive that car and pulled out after the second stint. I suppose if you're not feeling it for after the first couple of after the first 4 hours, you're certainly not going to be feeling it after 12. So Brumadinho is out. Who's next? There we go. That's Brent. That's 25 seconds. That's a potential battle there. If the Bambino Lexus can find a little bit of pace and get close to the back of Brumadinho from Switzerland. A place famous for not having for banning motor racing, believe it or not. That motor racing is banned in Switzerland other than hill climbs. Hill climbs is the only type of motor racing that goes on in Switzerland. There's a factoid for you next time you when you're in a pub quiz. Next time you're in a pub quiz and they say, what's the only country in the world that's banned motor racing, you can say, oh, Urbanpyrate told me that, it's Switzerland. Or you might not. Right, who else is out? Let's have a look. Brent is out, 25 seconds behind Brumadinho. We knew that. Hot Aya. I was chatting to him earlier. None of you could hear it, but I was chatting to him earlier. He's 36 seconds behind Brent. He's got a bit of work to do, but he's certainly quick. And there's already blue flags. That's Chica coming up behind him, and not in a happy fun way. I'm going to pass you again kind of way. Carl David, that's 15.8 seconds. Another potential battle there in that BMW. Hijack Patty, closely related to New Jack City. It's the sequel. 27 seconds back. Two more drivers to come out. That'll be Redder, the French driver, and he'll come out after Natty. The car is looking pretty natty as well. Excuse the coughing. I've picked up a little bug. My daughter's in the hospital having an op, and it's like going to a place like that. You pick up bugs all over the place, and it's pretty clear that Philo Engineering is demonstrating that he has the pace to continue where his teammates have left off. A flat 2 minute 2:08 is maintaining that 2 minute 42 gap. Can he extend it to 3 minutes? That's the question. We know MK goes around here in about, as he has been, the 202s, mid 202s, pretty standard time. He's just got his fastest yet through that sector. Tim Law, currently in the 203s. Everyone, we don't need to check it, but there we go. So there's tires and fuel information for you. Everyone is on the soft compound tyres. Not many drivers choose to run for long periods on the mediums. Most tend to do it just a couple of laps and then bin them, which doesn't make sense. If if you're only losing half a second to a second a lap, you need to do 28 laps before you gain that time back. So they both, the Scuderia cars got rid of the racing medium tyres in the pits. Oh, that's quite interesting. They got rid of them really, really early doors. That's quite a clever tactic if you're going to do that. I still don't think it's the fastest way around here, unless of course you really can't get any pace out of that. So that's the Bambino car, the green Bambino, and the 58 and the 59, the green Bambino and the red Bambino. We'll have a look. Who are they? Spotters guide, you see. What I should do is print it off so I don't have to keep flicking from screen to screen. So we've got them, Brumadinho, Ronaldinho's little brother, and Brent, I think. Yeah. So they're quite close together, these two. Be interesting to see if there's a bit of a battle between these. The Swiss Brumadinho and the Netherlandy, the Dutchman, Brent. Hot Aya, 17 seconds to Brent. He will be buoyed by the fact he's that close at this stage. But of course, he still needs to run medium tyres. But from my conversation with him earlier, he's prepared. He doesn't feel that the loss in time is worth it. He's getting similar times out of with the lower fuel out of the medium tyres that he is with the softs. So he's actually going to run a full stint on those mediums. At least that's what he told me he was going to do. We'll find out if that actually happens when the race is running. Still, these guys are so far back, man. Credit to them, though. Listen, if your team's been racing for 12 hours and you're still that far back, credit to them. They're going to pick up points still, and it kind of puts the McLaren boys to shame for stepping out as early as they did. And I've just noticed something on the banner at the bottom. It's slightly off skew. One of the master bits is off skew, and it's really bugging me, but I can't fix it now. I've already Philo Engineering's on lap 9. He's probably going to be somewhere in lap 10 by the time these start. 10 laps ahead of those back markers. To be expected when you've got a team where every driver is putting in the flat 2-minute laps around here. And you know, there's been a couple of drivers putting in the 159s. Has Philo Engineering got a 159 in the tank? Certainly possible. Where's my chat gone? My chat's disappeared. Hello chat, it's back. Yeah, it's a kind of it's a kind of double-edged sword, isn't it? It's you've got to consider how much time you are losing per lap. No, you know it's 28 seconds if you're going to just dive in, run it for a lap or two, and then chuck them away. So we'll see. We will see. Yeah, if you can't get the medium tyres fired up, then absolutely, you know, the rules allow you to do it. I think it's stupid that the rules allow you to do it, but that's not down to me. The rules allow you to do it, and you can ditch them after one lap, and you just can't get the pace out of them. Fair dues. But I think if you're only losing a half a second to a second a lap, I mean, if you're only losing half a second a lap, then absolutely it's not worth it. Yeah, it's one of those things, you know. The thing about motor racing is it's twofold. You've got obviously it's a game of skill and precision and consistency, but you've also got the unseen factor that events can happen, things can go wrong, cars can crash. You know, I saw in a race earlier that one of the top guys, Monkey Man Macho, one of our drivers, is driving for Sector 7 in another endurance series, was absolutely pounding on the door of the top 3 and just caught. He'd only taken the same corner 20 times, and he just caught the grass a little bit as he was turning, spun him into a wall, and ended up way down the order. With his team, ended up finishing, you know, somewhere down in the sort of 7th or 8th. So, you know, it is unfortunate. Events can make or break a race. So Philo Engineering leads the way by 2.4 minutes, 2 minutes 40 seconds. Tim Law 4.5 minutes back in third. That's going to be the position that these guys are going to be looking to get. Now they're going to be needing, they've got 59 laps, they're going to be needing to outpace him by a second a lap, really, to give them any chance. I mean, half a second a lap maybe, but so Tim Law at the moment is in those low 203s. Ciro Ferraro, we know that he is low 203s as well, so unlikely for him to close that gap. But what about Chica? Where's Chica? He's 41 seconds back. He's about a second a lap quicker at the moment than Ciro Fights, which could prove to certainly get me into the top 4. Top 3, I think, at the moment at that pace is out of reach. But of course, anything can happen. The slightest mistake, the slightest slip, the slightest slide, the slightest error in judgment, under fuel at a pit stop, anything, and then it's toast. Mornata, we know he's got pace. He's in the low 202s now, finding that rhythm nicely in that BMW. Brumadinho, and I don't know why I'm saying it like that, but I'm going to anyway. Running in 7th position. He's just coming up behind that number 4 car. Now he's running a similar pace. He's a little bit, obviously he's been lapped by him. he will like to unlap himself. Well, you know, obviously, you've been lapped. You'd love to unlap yourself if you can. Brent is 19 seconds back, and he's a little bit quicker. He's about a second and a half quicker. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's a potential good battle between teammates. Is there going to be team orders there? Are they going to order Brent to back off? Or are those guys going to actually work together and try and bump up the road a little bit of pump drafting down the old Conrod for an exciting finish? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Tell you what we really need. We really need Philo to absolutely bin it in a spectacular fashion. Spin for a couple of minutes, and then when MK comes through, just collect him by accident, and the pair of them spin down the Conrod like Torval and Dean dancing for gold. And then a couple of other cars smash into it. We have a safety car, and it all bunches up, and then we have a 10-lap sprint to the end. Wouldn't that be nice? we can all live in hope. He's got his pace in those 203s. He knows he's nice and steady in those, and we know from talking to him earlier that he will quite happily run those medium tyres for that second stint. Kyle Davids here. There he is, 40 seconds back. Similar pace. Is going to be difficult to catch with that pace. But Hijack Patty is only 2.5 seconds behind him, and he's just over a second a lap quicker at the moment. He's got that Lexus singing. Love the sound of that. Lexus has got a great little sound to it as well, actually. Redder, he's in the pits. Is he still waiting to leave the pits? I didn't even check. Holy hand grenade! They're a long way back. Yeah, Philo Engineering on lap 10 essentially, 10 racing laps so far, and GTMA Redder still hiding in the pits. Not good, man. He's not hiding. He's definitely waiting to start racing. He's been in there a long time, man. The tyres are cooling, the engine's cooling. He's getting incredibly bored. He's probably playing a bit of Angry Birds. Who knows? Right, Natty is 17 minutes behind Hijack Patty, but 2 hours of racing. Who knows? Who knows? He's on lap 3. Hijack Patty 3 laps up the road. So that's 17 minutes behind the leader, that was. And there is the leader, still putting in quick times. He's on the cusp of a 159 club, which has been reached in at least 2 of the 6 stints that I've seen. Hopefully again we'll see it here, and then it'll be at least 3. I know there definitely wasn't one in that last stint, so we haven't had a full house of 159s, but will we get at least 50% of them? We'll soon discover. And Philo Engineering coming up behind someone. Who's he coming up behind? Can't see who that is offhand. Someone not as quick as Philo Engineering, obviously, but that's going to be that's not for track position. That is to lap another car. Wonder what happens if you scan the barcode on the back. Is that like some Lidl's tomatoes or something? Really interesting. I've always wondered, right, you know, when people get barcodes tattooed on themselves, like what would happen if you scan the barcode? And I've always thought, you know, obviously I'm grown up now, so the tattoos I get are meaningful and well thought out. But I can imagine in there is a fight for P10. You are indeed correct. Well spotted, Mr. Spotterman. Thank you, Bruno Silva. I'll pay later. Yeah, you know, when you get like, I've always thought, you know, if I was like 16, 17 again, yeah, I bloody wish. Genuinely, I would even. Well, I don't have to be nice to Lewis Hamilton now because he's not a Mercedes driver anymore. If Mercedes gave me a GT3, I would do unspeakable things with the CEO, unspeakable, and put them on TV. So I was talking about barcodes, right? So where? Whoa! What happened there? Waffling away, and it looks like we might have had a little crash-a-rooney. This here is heading into the gravel. Well, not quite, didn't quite make it that far, but onto the grass, and through goes New Jack City. up into 10th place. So made it nice and easy for his opponent in the end. By just outbreaking himself into that hotel complex at the end of Conrod, or the Chase as it's otherwise known, not to be confused with the show presented by Bradley Walsh on ITV. Yeah, right, barcodes. Yeah, if I was 18 again, I would find the most obscure product in a supermarket I could, right, and I'd get that barcode tattooed on my arm and randomly just get it scanned, just for shits and giggles. Why not? What are the fastest cars in the world, or just on this racetrack? Well, the fastest car out there today has been this AMG GT3, which is the most beautiful car in the world. Yeah, so yeah, the fastest cars on the racetrack here. There's Philo, there's MK. He was steady 203s in stint 4. He's found a little bit more pace in that 911. The BMW of Tim Law, 5 minutes now behind P2. His job is going to be to fastest cars in the series. I don't know about the R8 though. The R8's a bit of a beast to handle around corners. I don't know. I don't know even many fast drivers that like driving it because it's a pain in the arse car. It's not very good on tyres, not very good on fuel. It's a beast going around a corner. It's like shell for shovel in a straight line, and it sounds awesome, and looks very sexy. But that's about it. 48 seconds is the gap there. So far, it needs to find a couple of seconds a lap if he wants any hope of squeezing DCT into that top 3. At the moment, the top 3 is looking pretty nailed on for this 2-hour period. Philo Engineering, nice and comfortable out in front. Does it say Pagani on the back of his car? Possibly. MK. So if the R8 and the Huracan are the fastest cars, why is no one using them? MK is currently running second, and I don't think he's catchable by Tim Law, not with 5 minutes on the bin. Surflight, we know for DCTs, he's not got the pace at the moment to close up on Tim Law. Hopefully that might change later, but if he's going to keep running in the low 203s to 204s, then that's never going to happen. Chica. He is faster than Surflight quite significantly at the moment, and he is TDR Zone is sponsored by Pagani this season. Are they actually sponsored by Pagani, or just they really like Pagani? Are Pagani actually giving them money? That'd be cool. Sorry, don't have a swig of me beer. My throat is hurting. Yeah, Chica, 35 seconds already he's got that gap down to. He's nicely chunking into the DCT points for his team at this stage. Mornata, he's now behind Philo Engineering. Philo Engineering's made his way through, and it's just as well he got through before this section, because it's a bitch to get through past a lap car anywhere, any time else. At the moment, though, he is well, he's a lap down from Chica. Similar times though, and certainly there seems to be a bit of pace in that BMW for Mornata. Can he find a way to close? That's a big chunk of time though. 1 minute 38 seconds. Big chunk of time he's got to try and find if he wants any hope of catching. Brumadinho getting some blue flags. Is that because where's his teammate in relation to him at the moment? His teammate just coming out onto the Conrod now, 16 seconds back. In terms of lap times, very, very similar times being churned out at the moment. Fastest for Brumadinho, 202.7, and 2017 for Brent. So Brent basically needs to be consistently pumping out those 2017s and hope that Brumadinho is doing no better than a 2027 if he wants a hope of catching him. But it's going to be a difficult battle for those two teammates. 22 seconds back to Hot Aya, not to be confused with Cold Aya, who's not as quick and lives in Alaska, apparently. He's from the United States, of course. We've got another good splattering. I do love when you've got such a splattering of different nationalities racing together. It gets a bit tedious sometimes. You know, I do some broadcasting for a number of different people, as I'm sure you guys know. And you know, when you get in there and everyone's British, you just think, oh, boring. And you just think, you know, you're the guys that are going to go to Spain and go, oi, Pedro, give us a beer, or such like. Hijack Patty, he got around Carl David. He was chasing him down anyway, but was gifted 10th position after Carl had outbroke himself at the end of Conrod. 41 seconds is the gap to Ayer, but they are lapping very, very similar times, so that gap not really going to change too much. Is Carl able to find another second or two a lap? He's going to need to if he wants to get back into that top 10. At the moment, he is 6.8 seconds behind Hijack Patty. Another American there, Alex Natty. He is, well, he's on lap 7, and Carl Davids is on lap 11, so I don't think Carl is in any danger. Yeah. Yeah, we've got the same actually with the GT Alpha series that we started. We started last year as a kind of Saturday night thing, and I think last season we had something like 17 different nationalities across 3 lobbies, something crazy. There was a lot of different nationalities. It was freaking awesome. I haven't to be fair, I haven't looked at our sign up sheets. I will do that later. It's a week to go before the Alpha Series starts, which you can find on Black Flag Racing TV. It's the International GT Challenge, which starts next week on Black Flag Racing TV. 3 lobbies, promotion and relegation system, much like a football. It's not soccer. I don't care where you are in the world. It's football. If you don't call it football, you're stupid. It's football. It's a promotion and relegation system. So the top 3 drivers from Lobby 2 move up to Lobby 1. The slowest 3 from Lobby 1 move down to Lobby 2, etc., across the 3, possibly 4 lobbies we're going to have for this new season. And there is Redder. He is finally on the racetrack. Lap 6 for him now. A couple of laps behind Natty. No battles. There's no battles, guys. Come on, man. We need someone to close up some gaps, innit? Shall we talk about how stupid it is that Lewis Hamilton's gone to Ferrari while we're waiting for something to happen? For me, it's part publicity stunt, part cash cow. Because let's face it, they're not going to win a world championship anytime soon, Ferrari. They've got the tactical nous of a dead hamster. And I can't see Lewis Hamilton going there, changing anything. But the person I feel incredibly sorry for is Charles Leclerc. He's just signed a new 5-year contract, only to find that that his new teammate, he's basically become a number 2 driver. It's absolutely ridiculous. Lewis Hamilton is not going to win a world championship for Ferrari. And you know what? Will make my day, right? Carlos Sainz from Mercedes-Benz, wins a world championship in a Mercedes-Benz, and just gets out of his car and does a big double single finger up to Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, he probably did. But let's face it, you know, of course he's given up. He has to give up. He's the fact that he's got as many world championships as he has is purely down to luck. And when I say luck, it's because Mercedes-Benz, when they came into the sport as a works team, they were offered a very, very lucrative sweetheart deal by the FIA, who essentially gifted them dominance for 10 years. Said, look, for 10 years we will ensure that you are the dominant team in Formula 1. And that's where he got his world championships from. Not because he's significantly better than anybody else. And I'm not suggesting for a moment that Lewis Hamilton is not a talented racing driver. He's a big, massive bellend, but he's not a rubbish racing driver. But then there's no way that he's 7 world titles better than some of the other drivers out there. It's just not the case. And anyone that you got these Lewis Hamilton fanboys that are hating on Max and everything. The fact of the matter is that Max, I think, overall is but a better driver than he is. He takes risks. He pushes the envelope, and if you're going to be an elite sportsman, you have to be that kind of mentality. You can't be at the very, very top of any, whether it's sport or whether it's esports or real sports or whatever you do. If you're not a little bit of a cock, you're not going to get to the very top of your game. I think the problem with Lewis Hamilton is he's too big a cock, and he's a liar as well. I watched a documentary. This is my last bit about Lewis Hamilton. One of the reasons why I really hate him. I watched a documentary where he claimed that he grew up incredibly poor, and that despite all the adversity and all the racism, he made it in motorsport. But the truth of the matter is that from a very young age, and yes, he was talented, but from a very young age, he was given the best cars, the best race suits, the best helmets, the best shoes, all the great sponsorship, everything that was at the top of the game. So he would rock up to these karting events with the very best equipment that could be bought. Chico, let's have a look at Chico while I'm waffling away. There he is. He's running 32 seconds behind Serafite. He's closing the gap a little bit. Certainly bringing it to DCT. He's going to have to keep that consistency up though, because it looks like Serafite is starting to creep into those mid 202s. So Chico needs to be bringing back those 201s he was giving us earlier on. Yeah, so that's why I hate Lewis Hamilton, because he basically tried to make out that he was some poor little boy that was deeply oppressed, when the fact of the matter is he had everything handed to him on a plate. Anyway, moving swiftly on, let's move on to something else. There is still no battles on the racetrack, nothing really to look at. Hot Eye are still in those low 202s, comfortably so, putting in some really consistent laps there. Brent ahead, creeping into the 201s, closing slowly but surely on his teammate. They'll do a lap where they'll do very similar time. You see there, they both did a 202.4, 202.0, but he is creeping to the back of the Swissman. Swissman, or is it just the Swiss? Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I think we are looking at a couple of potential battles. We're looking at this Brent Brunadino possibly somewhere around lap 30. We're looking at something there. I think as well Chica and Serafite, I think that's going to be probably a lot closer towards the end of the race, when we start to hit lap 45, lap 50. Yeah, you know what? I do still really enjoy F1, but it is so much more political than it has been, especially since the Americans took over. But it is what it is. But in other sports, obviously we've got what other sporting news have we had? Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp is leaving Liverpool Football Club. Rumour has it that he's going to go into business with his brother. His brother is very, 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 very big in horse racing. So Jurgen's going to go and work with his brother Clippity. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I dropped that joke. No, WEC is pretty darn cool. There's some really, really good motor racing out there that is not F1, but it doesn't really get the airtime it deserves. But I suppose it's all about who's going to watch it. And that's the crux of it. It's kind of the same as that old. You've got that kind of old adage, should women's sports people get paid the same as men? And the argument is very simple: is that if women's sport generate more money than the men's, they should get more. And I think it's the same with motor racing. It's where the more publicity and the more promotion it gets is completely down to the amount of money that comes into it, and that predominantly that money comes from television because of television, because sponsors go where they get the most exposure. Yeah, they have done. The FIA are a very strange governing body in that they put all their focus into Formula One and don't really promote anything else. But they want to have full control. A bit like the FA. The FA do everything for sort of the Premier League and that kind of level, but don't really do anything else lower level. But they don't, but they want to have a controlling interest over everything and be in charge of everything and take a little piece of everything. But it's the same with all governing bodies, isn't it? It's the way of the world now that there has to be one overarching governing body in control of it all. Follow the money, man. Follow the money. Oh, a little bit wobbly there. The last thing you want to do when you're getting chased down, he will know that Chica is closing that gap. And that wouldn't have done his tyres any good either. Saying that, shall we have a little look at the state of tyres and fuel, shall we? Let's do that. That's what it's looking for Philo Engineering. But let's be fair. He could literally drive the rest of this race on. He could take the rubber off and just drive on the rims, and he'd still bloody win. The gap's 3 minutes. He's got it over 3 minutes. Absolutely stonking performance from the TDR design team all day, to be fair. MK holding his own there in second. I think he's done enough. I think the team has done enough to keep them in second. Excuse me. He's opening the gap from Timor. It was 5 minutes. 5 minutes 15 now. So that 1-2 I think is nailed on. Tim Law 54 seconds ahead. He's opening the gap from Seraphites. Bloody cough. It doesn't help that I'm smoking, but there we go. Yeah, so he has opened the gap a little bit. Interesting to see. Another fight for P10. There is indeed. Hijack Patty. So something went on there. He obviously lost that position to Carl. So he must have made a mistake somewhere, and Carl's got past him, and now he's back at him again. So and they've got the added issue of Philo Engineering being right there and about to lap them. A little bit of miscommunication there. So Philo's through on Hijack Patty, but he's not yet gone past Carl and David. He will do now. Hijack Patty will want to stick as close as he can in that slipstream. So through turn 1 we go. We're now on lap 16, and we have a battle fight. That's a great slipstream he's got there on Kyle. Is he going to make the move at the top of the hill, or is he going to bide his time through the mountain and take him on Conrad? I think he's backed out there. It looks to me that he's going to take this battle through the mountain and out the other side and see what shakes then. Lost a little bit of time at the top there, but what he's probably done is you don't want to be stuck in the dirty air of the car ahead of you for too long, if you can, particularly when there's big walls either side. So it's a sensible thing just to back off a touch and just let the just to prevent so much dirty air going over your front splitter and causing the car to unsettle a little bit. But he needs to close up now, and this is where he needs to start closing in on the back of Carl David if he wants any hope of getting something out of the Conrad straight. Maybe Carl will gift it to him again at the top and forget where to brake. Who knows? Little touch, a little dab to slow himself down, and here we go. Out of the Conrad, he gets a really, really good exit, and he's already closing in, revving the absolute nuts out of that Lexus as he's trying to go through that penalty line, closing that gap down to 3/10. He's not close enough this time for the slipstream to work, but will the pressure get to Carl? He's having a little looky-see. He's going to have a look at the inside, decides against it, gets on the brakes. They've got another car coming to lap them soon. This is going to be interfering with their race all day long. It's a pain in the ass when you've got a battle going on and you can't just concentrate on the person you're fighting. You've got to concentrate on one of the faster cars coming through as well. It can really unsettle you and unsettle your rhythm. It's really, and for Carl, he's defending at the moment. He wants to make sure that he isn't leaving a gap for Hijack Patty to be jumping into. But equally, he's got to make sure that he's still got the pace. He's still going quickly. Hijack Patty's in a different position. He's got to check both directions. He's got to check behind him, and he's got to check ahead to make sure he obviously doesn't hit the car in front, but also that he takes any opportunity that comes to him. We are looking at Chica and Resistance. Yeah, we've seen that's up here, isn't it? Resistance or Zero Fights. Yeah, Resistance. So yes, we can see there Chica's got it down 27 seconds. The gap is coming down. I think we're going to be looking about lap 30 is when we're going to see these guys battling it out. No battle there, no battle there, no battle there. But this is where the fight is at the moment. It's New Jack City and Carl David, Boar Selector. Who is behind them? I can't see from that distance, but they're closing and closing fast. From Jack's perspective, he'll want to get this move done as quickly as possible before really conceding position to the car coming round to lap them. Oh, he's got it a little bit wrong there, and that's given Carl some breathing room. You can actually physically hear Carl go, whoo! That's a let off. That's a let off. So he just needs to settle in now. He just needs to get his rhythm back, find that line again, start closing in again, get working on it. It's plenty of time still to go. Plenty of time. But you want to avoid mistakes like that when you're chasing down. The other thing as well, if the car relaxes too much, it could go horribly wrong for him. Hopefully it won't. Right, let's wet the old whistle, shall we? He slowed right down. He's let Brumadinho through. He slowed down a lot. That gap now, 2.4 seconds. That's a hell of a lot to slow down to let a car through when you're in a battle yourself. A hell of a lot. And has he cost himself the opportunity now? He's certainly going to make it a lot harder for himself because he's got a lot more work to do. He hasn't got the slipstream. He maybe pick up a little bit from Brumadinho, but Brumadinho significantly quicker. And you can see on that last lap, Hijack Patty lost a couple of seconds on that lap, both with a mistake coming out of Forest Elbow and giving up the space to Brumadinho. He's going to be tucked in behind him now all through the mountain, while Carl David pulling away 2.7 seconds. That was less than 7/10 this time a lap ago, just on the last lap. And all of a sudden now, little mistake, letting a lapping car through, and he's giving himself a huge task now. But he is finding some pace. But last couple of laps, he had a 2:06. You can see there. That's where Carl David managed to get through. He had a really poor lap with a 2:06 following lap. Back in the 2:02s, but then at a 2:04, consistency is going to kill you, man. You need to be consistent. It's one thing to be quick. And I've always said this, that, you know, you've got guys like Philo, let's not ignore him, you've got guys like Philo, super quick, super consistent, absolutely nailed on. When you're racing around the midfield, when you're people like Chica or Monata, Brumadinho, Brent, these guys that are racing around the midfield, you won't necessarily have the pace of the guys out front, but the thing that will gain you a position or two through a race, whether that be a sprint race or endurance racing like this, your consistency in your performances needs to be paramount. You need to make sure that if you can do a flat 2:02, you're doing it 2:02, 2:02, 2:02, 2:02. So many times you see, I do broadcast and I see guys pushing like, you know, you can see that their pace is let's use this for example as at a sort of low 2:02 here, but they've managed to sneak in. You can see there where let's use Brumadinho as an example. 2:02, 2:02, 2:02, then on 2:03 chucked in. Gets himself a 2:01. Now, if he starts trying to push to beat that 2:01, that's where problems start to set in. That's where he will potentially make issues for himself. And I see so many drivers that race around the midfield cost themselves positions by doing just that, just trying to drive beyond the capability that they've already got. Find your pace and stick to it. You're better losing a couple of tenths and not crashing than pushing for that extra tenth and placing it in a wall. The battle is still raging on. Hijack Patty right up behind Carl David again, and you absolutely called it, Mr. T. Called it to a T. That giving up the place to the lapping car, to the Swissman, was going to bring Jack back into the fray. And it certainly looks like he's going to have a good opportunity. He needs a really good exit out Forest Elbow. Although, I thought he was going to go for it in Forest Elbow itself. Now, Carl David's so lucky he's got that slipstream from the car in front of him, which is going to help him out. and not leave him high and dry. Carl's got the run though. It's not going to be enough. Carl's got that slipstream just helping him out, keeping him ahead, keeping him up to pace into the braking zone they go. Brumadinho at the moment is, while he put Carl firmly back into Hijack's sights, he's also helping him out a little bit and keeping him just away from him. It does look like that, doesn't it? The RCF has that top speed, but then that could just be the effect of the toe down that long straight. We'll see. Where are we at? We're at lap 20 for these guys. Front runners are on lap 26, some way ahead, but they're boring. Here we go. Hijack Patty making the move. He's going to have to go around the outside. And Carl's not going to make this easy for him. He's going to keep that inside line. They're both on the brakes a little bit later for the Lexus. He's going to have to back out though. Doesn't happen that time. Why is my cat eating the dog food? Idiot. You literally have a bowl of your own food there. But eat what you want, I don't give a shit. I pay for it, you can eat it. More blue flags for these guys. They must be thinking, what the hell do we have to do to just get a bit of space to race? Again, a blue flag, and again, it's going to play into this battle between these two. Hijack Patty would rather be the one ahead. Let Carl be the one this time to give up some pace, to give up a spot to a chasing car. And you can see here through the mountain, it's clear that Carl has got the edge coming through the mountain here. But as they get towards Forest Elbow, you can see that the Lexus just manages to close it in. Is he going to get a better exit this time? It's not a bad exit at all. Had to correct the car a little bit on the way out. Couldn't get the power down as early as he'd like. He's starting to close, but again, not close enough to make that all-important move on Carl when they get to the end of this straight into the hotel section. This is where he's catching him. It's a little bit too early. Under braking though, up the inside. Is he going to make this stick? It was brave, but he didn't get it done that time. Carl held on very, very well. I'm surprised Carl didn't try and defend the inside line, but actually it worked out quite well for me. It is a really good battle, isn't it? Really getting on. It's only a matter of time. The thing is, if you're Kyle, right, you've got to keep such a cool head here. You can't kind of over push the car. You can't try something. You've just got to keep it going. You've absolutely just got to keep it going and just keep your lines, and you know the guy's going to catch you with slipstream, so you've got to defend these inside lines for dear life. There's nothing Carl can do to stop him other than spin him out, and he's not going to do that. He's not that kind of driver. Or is he? I don't know. But Hijack Patty gets it all wrong, making the move, and Carl back through again and regains 10th position. This is a phenomenal fight. You've got to think these cars have been going at it. Obviously not just with these drivers in, but they've been going at it now for nigh on 11 hours of racing. And for these guys, I mean, they've got to be tired. And you know that the drivers have had breaks in between, and you know they've had a little rests and stuff, but 2 hours of racing anywhere is knackering. Hijack Patty did 2 hours, went away, had an hour's break, and he's back. I mean, I've done 5 hours of broadcasting, and I'm absolutely wankered. But we carry on, don't we? We carry on. Here we go. This is where we'll see him try to close in, get under the rear wing of that car ahead, and use the slipstream into Forest Elbow. They go. He's going to have another crack at using that slipstream, using that straight line power of the Lexus. How's he faring this time? He's a bit further back. He didn't get such a good exit that time. I think it is. I think it's a case of, okay, well, I've tried a couple of things. Let's settle in for a couple of laps. Because the other danger, of course, is you're pushing your tyres, you're pushing your fuel. And I want to have a look at you. I've got the tyres and fuel up. You can see there is literally no real difference between the tyre and fuel usage of these two. So there's no real advantage for either of them either, in terms of the fuel you're using. Now, from Hijack Patty's perspective, he doesn't know what what the fuel situation and everything is ahead. But settling in, not necessarily dropping back, but a little bit of fuel saving, just looking after the tyres a little bit more, so he can guarantee that he can maybe stay out that little bit longer, and be in the pits for that 1 or 2 seconds less for fuel, that could be what was actually key here. And it's whether the maths bears to it. Whether how good are their maths on the? Is he doing it in VR? Oh, this must look awesome in VR. Oh my god, I don't know if I could drive at this pace for this amount of time in virtual reality, though. To be fair, but he did a little mistake there. Again, he was having a little look at Carl. I think he needs to regroup. I think he's had a couple of attempts now that haven't worked out, hasn't gone so well for him, and I think this is where you say, okay, look, I'm matching him for pace. Let's keep matching him for pace. Let's not overdrive this car. Let's look after my tyres a little bit. Let's look after my fuel a little bit. Stay within touching distance. Give him a false sense of security. Let him relax a little bit. Let him think that this fight is over. Let him maybe try and find his own little rhythm, and then when he's lulled into that false sense of security, then strike like a cobra, put him under pressure, make him really think about the car behind. Doesn't look like that's what Jack is planning on doing. Jack has got nothing else in mind but attack, and that's exactly what he's doing, and he's giving us an absolute show. Is he close enough this time? Again, he's going to really catch him, get into the break zone this time. Carl defending that inside line. He very nearly lost it last time. The old switcheroo, that's always one for fun. Is that going to work this time? Doesn't. Great fight for P10. You're absolutely right, Bruno. Loving it. You think these guys were fighting for the lead of this race. To be fair, the fight for the lead of this race was over in stint 1, pretty much. This is a great battle. They've been separated by, other than for one small period, by not more than a second for pretty much this entire race. It's been phenomenal fight between these two, and you can see now he's going to have another look. Carl's weaving and bobbing and weaving. He doesn't know which way to go. Doesn't know how he's going to stop him. He knows that he has to. He knows that he's got to. He can see that the car behind is itching to get through. Is quick enough to get past. That's Mornata getting involved. He's obviously lapping these cars. So you can see there, Jack just backing off, letting Mornata in. Now this is where it gets dangerous because it's through the mountain. This could be devastating for Kyle if he backs off to let him through in the mountain. He could lose so much time here. How close is Mornata to the back of Kyle's car? The answer to that question is not super close at the moment. He's going to get him at Conrod, I think. I think he's lucky enough that he doesn't have to worry about it until Conrod. I think if Mornata's closer, and certainly Mornata's in a fight, he's going to be itching to get him out of the way. Oh! It's gone horribly wrong for Hijack. Horribly wrong. Let's have a look what went wrong for him here. And you can see he just... he's getting a little bit out of shape through here. He's already struggling a little bit with the car. You can see it here. He struggles a little bit there. Little clip of the wall there, and then that just unsettles the car, and that's damage. And that fight, I think that fight is over. I think that fight is now over. Or is it? I mean, we don't know. How much is it going to affect his lap times? You can see he's already dropped way off the pace of Davy. He's now 3.7 seconds back. It's going to be a really difficult battle to have, and that is the other battle that potentially a little bit too early on that bump. It just unsettles the car. That's the thing. When you're chasing, you're so keen to want to get on that power soon, and it's just so hard to kind of sometimes to hold back. Listen, it's not over. It's not over yet. He's certainly got the pace. I think he's a little bit quicker. He certainly shows that he's a little bit quicker than Carl, but just not quite quick enough to get the overtake done. But we'll see what happens. Now Carl gets to relax a little bit. He might settle down. And when you get relaxed, sometimes that's when you make your most mistakes. Right, that's the gap now. 26 seconds. Chica is behind Ciro Fight in fourth position. Top three unchanged. There we go. There's Philo Engineering. That TDR. It's TDR design, isn't it? MK. was second all of stint 4, is second now all of stint 6. 3 minutes 25 seconds, so losing a couple of seconds a lap at the moment to Philo, who has that fastest lap. Still hasn't broken that 2 minute mark though, still not good, dipped into the 1:59s as the lights come on the cars and the light begins to fade. Tim Law, 5 minutes 32 seconds, but it's pretty comfortable for him at the minute. The closest person to him is a minute down the road. To be fair, Falco, your English ain't that bad, mate. How you doing, Pastina? Not seen you for a while, but good racing from you, my friend. You certainly put Surflight into a really, really good position in 4th. Chica, as we said, he had been closing on Ciro for a bit, but it seems that Ciro's found some really solid pace now in those mid to high 202s, which is pretty much where Chica is settled into over the last sort of 8 or 9 laps. So he's not making the chunks into that 4th place as he was previously. Yeah, of course you can. We'll go back there and see where he is. He's had to go to the pits and repair. He's put on the medium compound tyres, which is a requirement anyway. Yeah, it's very stable at Gaffer P4. He was closing, but he's not now. I can tell you exactly if he's fueled or not. He's not. He hasn't put a drop of fuel in that car because he was a spot on bang the same as Carl David was. So, no, he didn't put any in. 25 seconds back. Now, the thing is, a pit stop is about 28 seconds lost just for changing tyres. Yeah, what Falco said. I have no idea what you said, Falco, but whatever. Yeah, I probably should learn to read another language. I could speak another language, but I can't read another language. Not well. I mean, I can pick out words, but I'm too old. I'm too old for all that shit now. Anyway, far too old for all that. I don't know why my alarm's going off. Just to remind me. I don't know. It's probably to remind me to do something. Pizza. Obscure cheese. You could put some obscure cheese on a pizza, couldn't you? Yeah, Hijack Patty is. Yes. Is it over for him? That's the big question, because he was looking so quick, he was looking so racy, he was putting Kyle under immense pressure. But has he just overcooked it? Did he overdo it? And I think the answer to that question is yes. Maybe you should have taken my suggestion just to back off a little bit, just find your rhythm again, and go at it again. But alas, not the case. Never, Chris. What are you doing? Hello. Right, we can't ignore him. He is only 20 laps into this race, but they're still in it. The GTMA team are still in it, and they're not last because they didn't quit. The McLaren team, they quit early doors. Weren't happy with the balance of the car. Didn't want to spend the next 8 hours of their day, or 10 hours of their day, racing around in it. Well, that's fair enough. You don't want to do it, but you know, I'm sure there are teams that wanted to race and didn't get a spot, and would love to be in there now and taking that spot. That's the one thing I would say. If you've got the spot and you don't use it, then you don't get it next time. Someone gets in over you. Maybe I'm just cruel like that. I don't care about people. Right, Chica into the pits. That's not an enforced change. He hasn't crashed or anything. That is actually strategic. I think he's going to go straight onto the soft compound tyres, I would imagine. Indeed he does. He's going to fuel up that car and then get back out there and see if he can start making some inroads into the C team driver ahead. He's got a massive cushion over Mornata, so no danger of me losing 5th position at any stage here. Philo Engineering still leads the way by a significant amount. He's dropped out the 2 minute laps a couple of times. Is he just a bit of fun now, isn't it? The motorsport community is the best community in the world. I think so, yeah. I think you're right. MK still running well. Again, he's not he's not going to catch Philo, but he's not going to get caught by Timlaw. He's doing enough to keep that gap significantly further ahead. He's a good solid lap ahead of him, and some more. Zero Fights is now a minute behind Timlaw. There was some question whether the DCT driver could sneak into that top 3. It's going to take some sort of a miracle, an absolute miracle. Is probably the only word for it. Yeah, it's going to take an absolute miracle for him to get into the top 3. Actually, anyone else to get into the top 3 now. It will need I hate to jinx it, to put a disconnection or a massive crash or some sort of technical failure of some sort, whether it be a wheel failure or batteries running out in a remote or whatever it is. But yeah, it doesn't look like third or podium is something that anyone else can be looking for right now. Although, to be fair, after this much driving, I think you're just going to be glad for it to be all over, aren't you? So, Chica's had his pit stop. He's now a minute and 5 behind. He's going to have to start racking up some 201s if he wants to bring the fight to DCT, and he's going to have to start doing that now. If he doesn't start doing it now, he's never going to be able to close the gap enough to get into 4th place. Same goes for Mornata. If he wants to catch Chica, he's got a hell of a lot of work to do. I can't see it happening though. We were questioning whether these two teammates, Brent and Brumadinho, would be having a little battle. Now, I'm looking at the times here, and for a while, Brent looked like he was going to bring in some nice solid times. He's certainly quicker than his teammate in the early stages, but we can see now Brent is in those high 202s, the mid to high 202s. Brumadinho, very, very similar times. The gap is just not going to close unless Brent can find some pace from somewhere. Hot Aya, currently running in 9th position. It's a bit no man's land, really. Minute either side, really. Lapping, I mean, very consistent 203s. Other than he pit on lap 21, clearly. So yeah, 203, 203, 203, and if you look, I mean, from when he came out of the pits, slowest lap of 203.6, the fastest lap being a 203.2. That's not even his fastest lap of the day. That's nothing. That is less than that in terms of difference over the course of 5 laps, 6 laps. Phenomenal pinpoint, what's the word I'm looking for, accuracy in terms of lap time. That's someone that's following the same line every single time. He's found that rhythm, and he's in the zone. It's good when you get that. When you are racing, particularly with endurance racing, you need to find that kind of rhythm, and you need to kind of just be kind of clocking the lines, hitting the apex in the same place every time, braking the same place every time, just churning those laps in one after the other. Did he just fuel? He did fuel. Yeah, absolutely he did. When he went in on lap 21. But you can see that the consistency on those medium compound tyres, he's just over, if you look at his tyres beforehand, 202.4s he was putting in, sort of mid 202s. He's in the low to mid 203s, so less than a second really on the medium tyres. And as I said, it's 28 seconds for a pit stop if you're just going to bin the tyres. So there's more than 28 laps available, but yeah. So let's have a little looky-see. Philo jumping into the pits. He could literally, he could get out of the car, he could go to the gift shop, try on a new pair of trousers, take them home, realise he doesn't like them, take them back to the gift shop, get a refund, have some lunch, kiss his girlfriend, get back into the car and drive and still be in the bloody lead. That's how far ahead Philo Engineering is. It's insane. No, it's Spade, you're absolutely right. We were talking about about hot air. He's the consistency, the difference between the mediums and the softs. In fact, I've noticed it with a few of these drivers that the difference between the mediums and the soft is so negligible. It's not worth bidding them after 1 or 2 laps. You may as well run a stint on them, because the 28 seconds you're going to lose by bidding them early, you're not going to gain it anywhere. It's going to take you more than 28 laps to gain it back, so it's not worth it. He's on the medium stint now, Obscure. He's running the medium stint as we speak, which is why he's dropped out from the mid 202s out to the mid 203s. MK's still running there. He's going to, or he's not. I thought he might pit this lap. He's not. He's going to pit maybe on the next lap then, as we skirt through the midway point of this race with a plum. And it's 62, so they've got to do 61 laps, have they? Or yeah, 60 something like that, racing laps. Tim Law still comfortably in 3rd, and Seraphites still comfortably in 4th. Extend the final stint laps, yeah, it was crazy pace. You're right, 29 seconds now, Chica to Seraphite. He's not found the pace he'd hoped for, certainly not found the pace that we hoped he would be showing us early doors. And Seraphite, of course, has stepped up his game. He's back out of the pits. He's fueled, and some more softy tyres in for him. To holding 4th place. Free pit stop for him. Chica's been in as well. 29 seconds is the gap there. Mornata's been in. He's on those medium compound tyres. Brumadinho, he doesn't need to run the mediums. Already done that. Him and his teammates have both already binned those medium compound tyres. And look, at that. We're talking about consistency in the midfield, and that's what I'm talking about right there. Look at that. Slowest 202.8, fastest to 202.1, 7 tenths of a second difference between the fastest and slowest laps over 9 laps. That's insane. That's ridiculously good. What's the word I'm looking for? Good accuracy, good consistency to be able to do that lap in, lap out. Particularly when you're tired, you've been racing for hours, and you've that's really solid. There's his teammate Brent. Not been quite. This is why Brent's not been able to catch his teammate. He was at one stage catching him. He's been in the pits again. Now he pit early to get rid of the medium tyres. He's pit again for the racing soft, so the gap is a bit bigger because of that. But at one stage, it looked like he might be catching his teammate, but because he's not got the same consistency that the Swiss ahead of him has, he's not been able to capitalise on that pace advantage that he had early on. Never knows how he kept up with me. I think, to be fair, Spades, I think anybody that is prepared to get involved in an endurance race of this kind of length, whether you're doing 1 stint or 2 or 3 or whatever, takes this pretty seriously. You have to, if you're going to put in the work, because and this is just, I was talking to there's a guy, he runs a charity that I support locally. Really good guy, and I was explaining to him what we do, and sim racing and all of that, and how we get into it. And he was surprised. He thought we just rock up, we turn the PlayStation on, we chuck around a few laps, and then we disappear off. He was surprised when he realised how much work actually goes in behind the scenes. So these guys that are doing 2-hour stints here, they would have done 20, 30, 40 hours of practice prior to this race, just lap after lap after lap. They might be doing 62 laps in the race here, but they would have done 3 times that in practice beforehand, 5 times that, 10 times that, to find their lines, to find their pace, to get that consistency, to allow them to be able to do it in the way that they do it. And while there's going to be some people that will just jump in the rig or pick up the controller and chuck on the VR headset and be able to chuck in quick laps straight away, and people like Philo will be able to do that, but I guarantee you that as quick as Philo is, and as quick as all those TDI design guys are, that they don't get to this kind of pace and this kind of consistency just because they're quick and they pick up the controller and just get on with it. They're putting in the time, they're putting in the effort, they're putting in the practice to get them there in the first place. Everyone does. And that's the key, and that is the difference between. That's what makes the difference between tenths of a second and the margins, and when it comes to sim racing, when it comes to anything. At the end of the day, you need to practice 10,000 hours at anything to consider yourself to be good at that thing. That's what they say. If you haven't done 10,000 hours experience, you're not experienced. Simple as. And yeah, well, so. Yeah, we've been practicing since 2012. To be fair, I could have been practicing since 1912, and I still wouldn't be quick. But that's just one of those things. Mornata running in 6th place. Let's have a look at the guys at the back. Let's give these guys that have stuck it out despite running around at the back of the field, 10, 11 laps behind the leaders. Let's give a little bit of love. And to be fair, Redder is putting in 201s, consistent 201s at the back of the pack there. That's phenomenal lap time when you consider that the only other people doing regular 201s are Philo. MK's not even doing that. That's phenomenal lap times there from Redder. Now, he is 2 laps behind Natty, but Natty's in the 202s, 203s. So actually, although these guys are at the back of the pack, they are not shabby. I know that the GTMA guys had an issue. I think it was in stint 3 that they had a bit of an issue, and it sort of set them back a little bit. And it's always going to be difficult when you've got. I mean, essentially, you've got an entire field of guys here who are putting in. There's a 4-second difference maximum between their lap times. So over the course of 12 hours, it's going to make a significant difference. But even still, it's phenomenal that to still be putting in that kind of effort at this stage of the race as well. Maybe he's kind of hoping that Alex Natty, the driver from the US, makes a catastrophic error, or I don't know, maybe Biden turns off the internet by accident. Wouldn't surprise me. There we go. I did hear a quote the other day. From a comedian, I can't remember what comedian said it. He said, we've got stupid people here in the UK, but in the US, when you do stupid, you do it massively. If the stupidest person in our country is kicking pigeons in the park, yours is president. Which I did think was quite funny. Anyway, moving swiftly on before I get mobbed by a lot of really angry Americans. Hijack Patty. 25 seconds of gap to Carl David. They've both pitted. Hijack Patty, a lot more fuel on board. He's had to pit twice. He had to pit to repair some damage, but he has run the medium tyres, so it could still come back to him. Remember, it's 28 seconds for to go in, chuck on tyres, come back out. That's your loss for chucking on the medium compound tyres. It's 28 seconds, and the gap at the moment is 23, and he's closing. Remember that, he's closing on him. He's fueled to the end of this race. Carl David, I think, might be off. Actually, I think Hijack Patty actually is overfueled a little bit. And looking at that as well, if he has overfueled, that is probably about 7 seconds worth of fuel he's put on there that he didn't need to. Which would put him a hell of a lot closer to Carl, but he's still closing that gap at some rate at the moment. He's going down to 22.3 and trying to unlap himself on Aya, who is just ahead at the moment. He's a lot quicker. Now, the problem with unlapping yourself, of course, is you have to treat it like a proper overtake. It's not. The rules are different. When you're unlapping than when you're lapping. They don't have to move out your way. They've got no obligation to give you space, no obligation to give you room. There's no blue flags to tell them to move out of the way. If they do so, they do so out of the kindness of their heart. And I can't imagine anyone racing at this pace is going to do something out of the kindness of their heart at this stage. Although, it's not going to not benefit him in any way. Hijack's, he's making that move up the inside, get to the top of the hill. Is he going to be braver on the brakes? No point these two battling it out for too long. He gets that move done. He's unlapped himself up into to stay in 11th, but to not quite be so far behind. I like watching people unlap themselves. It shows that there's a renewed vigour is the best way of describing that. Lap 34 for Ayer, and it's lap 33 for Hijack Patty. So still one more. He's got an entire lap to go if he wants to get into ninth place. I can't see that happening in the less than 30 laps we have remaining here. If you're just joining us, where the bloody hell have you been all day? Why are you only just joining us? And why have you not liked and subscribed yet? That's another thing. I want you guys, I want to have a look actually and see what the subs are on, because there's been enough people watching today. And where are the subs at? Where are the subs at? Show me the subbies. Right, 490, 10 people. We need go and find 10 people. I know you're subscribed because you can't watch unless you are, because I turn subscribers mode only on. 10 people. Tell me that you lot don't know 10 people you can send this link to and get them to subscribe. They don't even have to watch. You know what? Tell them to subscribe, say hello, and then go away. But yeah, get 10 people. We want to hit 5. If we hit 500 by the end of this race, I will sing for you a song of your choice. There we go. There we have it. You have it from my mouth. I will sing for you if between the lot of you watching, and there are how many of you are watching? Let's have a little look. You see, there are 21 of you. So it needs you to know half a person each. Come and find half a person and get them to subscribe, and then we hit the magic 500. There we go, 491. There's one more. We need nine more subscribers to the ERF page, and you can pick me a song to sing at the end of the race. I don't care doing it on your YouTube because it's not my copyright strike. Do it immediately. No, I don't. That was low. It was good though. To be fair, I liked the US when I was there. I think it's an amazing place. I think it's equal parts amazing and freaking crazy. And I think that's part of the charm. Is it is crazy. But there we have it. Right, so we've spent a bit of time with Hijack Patty. The reason being is he's on a bit of a charge now. He's unlapped himself on Hot Aya ahead, and the Brit's on a bit of a charge. We've got a Brit out in the lead. That's Philo Engineering. But we've got another Brit who has decided to pull his socks up and get a little wriggle on, and he's chasing down a place in the top 10, coveted place in the top 10. He has got 28 laps in which to do it. Bear with me. I need to go get another beer. I've just finished that one. I'll be back in 14 seconds. It's going to be a bit longer. There's no in the fridge. Hang on. Someone's getting sacked. No cold ones in the fridge. I had to go and get one out of the garden. To be fair, it's cold out there as well, so it doesn't really matter. You did, didn't you? You sang Barbie Girl. To be fair, it will still remain your trademark because you actually did quite a good job of it. I sing like someone's being murdered. Genuinely. I can play guitar a bit, but I cannot sing for the life of me. A lifetime of drinking, smoking and eating junk food, and living in London doesn't help either. There we go. Right, 12 seconds that gap now is Hijack Patty. Shall we have a little look through the field, see what everyone else is doing? Not very much, we know, but we'll have a look anyway. Philo Engineering still very much in the lead. Kind of victims of their own success, really, aren't they? They're not getting much screen time because they're super quick and not actually racing anybody. I suppose themselves. Steadily in those 201s now. Not pushing for the fastest lap at the moment, but he's on the medium compound tyres. He's doing 201... He's doing 201s, low 201s as well, on the medium compound tyres. He's a freaking machine, man. MK. He's on the softs. He can't even match the 201s on the bloody softs. But he is second. He's 4 minutes, 28 seconds behind Philo. Comfortably 6.5 minutes ahead of Tim Law, who's running in third position in that BMW. I do love the colour scheme of that BMW. Very nice, that orange and black. 30 seconds to Seraphrite. He's not finding the pace. Although, if he keeps having bad laps like that 208 he's just had, you never know. You never know your luck. 30 seconds is the gap. It's quite a big gap, and I think with such a, about 20 laps remaining, it's going to be quite a feat to close that gap from here. Chica, he's closing a little bit now. He's found a bit more pace. We've got Ciro out in those mid 202s, low 203s, pretty much low 203s. Chica are in the low 202s, high 201s. So he's started to find a bit of pace, is Chica. Is that going to bring him back into the fight? 22 seconds, he's going to need 22 laps. It's going to be bloody close. He's a second a lap every lap from now until the end of this race. And we just might have a little fight on for fourth position. Wouldn't that be something very special? Well, not as special as a special cuddle, but certainly special. Mornata, comfortably sixth. I don't think he's going to get caught, neither is he going to trouble Chica in any way. Brumadinho, similar position to Monata, ahead of him. His teammate now 47 seconds back, 39 ahead of Hot Air. Right, this is where the battle is though. Look at this. It was 25 seconds. Well, in fact, at one stage, it was half a second. It was 0.3 of a second. He was ahead of him. Then he was behind him again, and it was half a second. It was 1 second. It was half a second. Then it was 25 seconds. He has gone Michael Schumacher Prime and closed that gap down to 4.1 Great British seconds. And more blue flags to contend with. It may well have been the lack of blue flags for a while that's allowed him to find that rhythm and find that pace. And a 2:01.4, that is front runner pace. Absolutely front runner pace. Really quick there from Hijack Patty. That beer's good. Yeah, it's probably colder from being outside than it has from being in the bloody fridge. 2.2 seconds. Is there a problem? Has Cole got some sort of issue? Got some sort of damage? No damage on his car. You can see there's absolutely no damage on his car. He's got no worn tyres or anything, but he seems to be struggling a little bit pace-wise. He's done a couple of really poor laps, a couple of 207s. That's how Hijack Patty's been able to close in on him. So a couple of errors there from Carl David, and all of a sudden, 14 seconds wiped off of that deficit, and he's really close. Patty and Natty. Yeah, we have a Patty and a Natty. And in the last race we had a Batty. In stint 4 we had a Batty. We had a Patty, and a Natty. He's just got to make sure he gets past him without crashing, or we're going to call him a Twatty. There we go. I'm tired, I don't even know it. Right, so here we go. Run up the hill. He's within that half-second window. That's where he wants to be. Heading up the hill in that slipstream of the BMW. It is a BMW ahead, isn't it? Yes, it is. Of course it is. The BMW ahead of him. There's such racing heritage in the BMWs. Phenomenal racing heritage. Lexus not so much, but they're starting to build themselves a bit of a name. Staying in there behind Philo Engineering is going to bin those medium tyres, put on some fuel. One litre of fuel left in that car. He's dripped that dry. Round and round he goes, and oh, did a bit of a tank slapper there from David. Doesn't cost him too much. He's still ahead. This is where, again, this is the section you can see here. You want to get out of the dirty air through here so you can maximise your pace with the walls there. This is where you want to start closing in to line up for a move down Conrod. Oh, interesting use of track limits there by Carl David. It seems to have got away with it. They do touch a little bit there. He stays behind him, but that was a very interesting use of track limits, but no punishment for it. Two different lines through this corner. It's not really a corner you need to defend on. Not many people are going to try and make that move up the inside unless you're crashing on the outside, of course. This is where he's going to get that move done. Carl planted in the middle of the road. He's not going to make it easy. Oh, give him a little hello. Just let him know you're there. And that move is done. Hijack Patty gets the move done. A little bit of slipstream given to Carl now as they head up. Is he going to get the switcheroo on him under braking? He makes a little move up the inside. Little touch. It's side by side as they head down towards the line and back into the lead. Well, I say the lead, but the lead for this little battle is Carl heading down to the final corner. Into the braking zone they go. This battle is ding dong. It's on. What a fight these two are having. This has been a phenomenal race for these two. Pretty freaking boring for everybody else, but these two absolutely on it. And that's a very, very late on the brakes. Gets it stopped and slowed down. He's going to be ahead going up the hill. This means now, though, of course, that Carl gets that bit of slipstream heading up towards the mountain yet again. It's funny. I was doing a race at Spa yesterday, I think it was, and I was reading on the Spa website that they call it the most beautiful racetrack in the world. To be fair, have a look at this. Have a look at this and tell me that Spa is the most beautiful racetrack in the world. This is pretty darn nice, mate. Pretty damn nice. So there we go. That is Hijack City's made the move, but is he going to be able to pull away now? Natty into the pits. We did see Aya go into the pits as well from 9th. But this battle is still raging on. It's not over until the fat bird sings. That's what they say. And the fat lady has not sung, neither is the fat man. That's me. Talking of fat man singing, should we have a quick look? Oh, have we reached the magic number yet? Have you guys been doing what you were told to do? No, nobody has found more subscribers. Terrible behaviour. I won't do it. I will genuinely not sing for you, ungrateful gits, if you don't get 9 more subscribers onto this channel immediately. I know, look at that sunset. It's just amazing. It is a beautiful sunset. I'm assuming we're going to finish. This race will finish in the dark, right? Bearing in mind that it's just the sun setting. But that was some great racing there from Hijack Patty. But he's not pulling away. Carl is sticking with him. I have a feeling that this battle isn't done for just yet. 12 hours of racing and they're still going at it like they've just started. Absolutely loving it. Let's have a little look at GTMA Redder, because he's been putting in some phenomenal lap times in those 201s. Look, significant work needs to be done to catch Natty ahead of him. He's some way behind. He's a couple of laps behind. He's not going to catch him, but he's certainly going to eat into that a little bit. Just a shame there's no more time. This is the final stint, of course. Natty is they're 3 laps behind this battle at the moment, raging on ahead. If only they were closer and they could see what we can see. They are a lap behind. Well, 1 minute, almost a lap behind. 1 minute 12 behind this. 1 minute 30, sorry, behind this guy here, who joined me in stint 4 for a little chatteroony. We had a little natter. Round 3. What about round 3? We're supposed to finish daylight, evening session, finish only put size 1 this time instead of 0, early over will. Patty and Natty back at it again. They're not actually, because there's a Davide between them, or Davidsy between them. Right, out in front. What's happening out in front? Nothing. Philo still leads. The blue flag. That's not for Philo, of course. That's for many other cars that Philo is approaching. MK is there. There is going to be a flag out for. That just goes to show how far away it is between second and third, because that is MK coming up behind, of all people, Timlaw, who's currently in third. So these are second and third on the racetrack, or second and third certainly in positions, but third and second on the racetrack. Timlaw's just going to have to move out of the way. He's it certainly gives something to think about. I'm currently sitting in third. I'd like to get further up the podium, but the guy that I'm racing is coming up behind me and fast. Yeah, I think that's when you set it. I think that's when you start just looking at the time behind, which he will be doing. And I mean, talking of looking behind, that's what you can see. He'll let him past. Racing valid, go again. Reset. Everyone starts from zero. Red flag. Red flag. It has been phenomenal. MK going through, nice and simple pimples, no dramas at all. Surfight's 30 seconds back. It kind of flits between, is he going to catch him, and then nowhere near catching him at all. There's Brent coming up behind him to potentially unlap himself. He's certainly putting in a bit of pace at the moment. Chica, down to 20 seconds. We did think, when we were watching Chica's charge around lap 15, that he might be giving a fight to Seraphites, but it hasn't been that way. I see your German cars are pretty dominant in this one, and I raise you 13th place, mate. Yeah, it did look at one stage that there might be a chance for Chica to close. He was closing quite rapidly, but he's running out of time now. He is putting in really consistent 202s, but still far ahead. Is edging into them himself, and I think lap after lap, unless Chica can continually beat him by a second a lap every lap, it's the time is getting away from him. He needs about 1.2 seconds a lap now, every lap, in order to catch, and then of course he's then got to pass him. More Natter, we know that he's not going to be challenging nor challenged for 6th position. I was going to say similar for Brumadinho, but he pulled out a bit of a gap over his teammate. That's not the case anymore. The gap now down to 6.6 seconds. No damage on that. That was a pit stop for Brumadinho even. So we've got Brent now, only 6.5 seconds behind his teammate. Lap times. Last lap for Brumadinho was 204.1. For Brent, 204.6. He's been regularly the 201s, low 202s. Brumadinho, not so much in those 201s. So, is there a potential here for Brent now to get involved? Get hot eye past you, and then slipstream. That's what you need. You need a bit of the slippy. To pull you up the road towards your teammate who's 6 seconds up there. If he takes a second a lap out of him at this stage, there's still 20 laps to go, so it's not unheard of at this stage. Unheard of for IR. He's in that GTR. He's not going to be putting any challenges on anyone anytime soon, but he is comfortably in 9th place. Talking of comfortably in any position, Hijack Patty, he finally found his way around Carl David after beating down the door in the early stages of this race. Then it all went wrong, and he found himself dropping down the order and then having to chase him back. He was 25 seconds back at one stage, and then fortune favours the brave, Rodney, as they say, and Hijack Patty now back in the running in that top 10, 2.1 seconds clear of Carl. Has Carl got any response for him? Has the Dutch driver got something he's holding back, something in the bag that he can use to suffocate Hijack Patty and get him out of that top 10? There's Natty, the American, and of course Redder, who has look at that. Other than the pit stop lap there, 2:01s on a regular basis, and yet you're running in last place. He needs to grab hold of his teammates and give them a headbutt. I'm not condoning that you do that. Violence is never the answer. Oh, look at that. There we go. 159 Club for Philo Engineering finally gets himself in there. And violence is never the answer unless the question is, how do you stop a small child from biting your leg? Now that's phenomenal from Philo. So that's at least half the lobbies today we've seen a sub 2 minute lap here at Bathurst, which is a phenomenal lap time. Let's put it into perspective. I'm gonna Google this actually, because I want to know what the official GT3 lap time is. I want to stick with. I want to look at this because Chica is starting to close a bit of a gap. Let's go and have a little looky see. Where are we in terms of subscribers? Are we improved from the? No, we're still on 491. You lot are useless. You're dead to me. What did I say? I said you're dead to me. Right. Let's have a look at Bathurst. Let's Google Bathurst and see if we can find out what the official GT3 lap time is. Bathurst lap records. I don't want the city of Bathurst. Who cares about the city of Bathurst? We just care about the racetrack. Right, lap records. Let's have a little looky see. GT3 lap record round here, 2:01.5 in the McLaren 650S. McLarens didn't even want to race round here. Who would have thunk it? That's not too bad, is it? The Ford Falcon did it in a 2:14. An unrestricted GT3, the Audi R8, was a 1:59.2. So he's in pretty darn good company. That was in 2018. He's in pretty darn good company with that 1:59.9 that he's put in. Phenomenally good company, actually. That was a really, really good, solid, hot lap. That. He may well do. He may well do. And what was the fastest? I think I've seen another 59.9. What's been the fastest thus far? Can anyone remember? Does anyone know? Does anyone care? Of course people care. I haven't checked if anyone's come to talk to me. They have not. They have not. How utterly soul destroying. Am I joking? I really don't care. 59.68. So that was Tank Bros, wasn't it, in stint 4. Yeah, that was pretty darn quick, man. Yeah, he was pretty darn quick. He's gone quicker still. He's just done a 59.5. Holy shitballs. Sweet baby Jesus, that's incredibly quick. And he's just lapped. MK. So, perspective, guys. Lap 51 for Philo Engineering. Currently, the fastest man on the racetrack with a 59.5. Absolutely epic lap, that is. And he's just lapped MK, so he's now 2 laps clear of second. He is a lap clear of third. But we've got a battle here for potentially fourth. Chica's still on lap 48. He's got plenty of laps to go to potentially close that gap. He's taken a couple of seconds out of 0, but he's still got some work to do. He's got to stay in those low 202s. I think mid 202s not enough. Low 202s because it's only half a second a lap he's managed to take out of him in a minute. He needs a second a lap if he wants any hope as the light fades away to darkness. It's very dark here. What happened? Who was dirty? What happened there, mate? Didn't see what happened. So Carl, I'm assuming he had to repair. I don't know if we're going to get we're not going to get a replay of it now, are we? No, just of him going in the pits. But he's got damage. So what happened there? Has anyone else got damage that we can see? I can't see anyone else with damage. So I don't know what happened there to... yeah, well, there's no damage on Hijack Patty, but maybe that's the case. But there was 2.5 seconds between them at one stage, so you must have caught him up. Oh, unless he caught him up in one lap. And let's have a look. Hijack Patty. Let's have a look at his lap times. Well, he's done. He did it twice. His lap times haven't really dropped off that much, to be fair. We'll have a look on the when the next lap time comes up. If you lost any on this lap, because it would have been right. Well, in fact, no, if it had been on this lap, then Carl wouldn't have been able to pit on this lap. So, yeah. Don't know what happened. Maybe you can tell us later what happened. Maybe we'll find out. Crossing the line, and that's 2:02. So, well, if there was a tangle, it might have been a car on another lap. I'm just trying to see if anyone's got any damage, but I can't see any significant damage to anyone. I'm trying to think where he would have been on the racetrack. So we're looking at Hijack Patty's kind of there. The only other car around them is Alex Natty. So unless he had a tangle with Alex Natty when he came out there, and he's only just come out of the pits himself. So, did they ever come in together? And then he's had to pit to repair the damage as well. I suppose that's possible. Because we look, yeah. So, Carl, is he back in the pits again? Oh, more damage. So he's clearly crashed again. Something's happened. Oh, it was Hijack, was it? Damage again. That's put paid to that race. Well, the drill is he was off the track and he just rejoined his. He didn't lose much time. They would have to have a look at it. Well, we. I'm not going to look at it, but I'm sure the stewards will. There is a system in place for it to be looked at. Just get your head down, mate. You're doing a great job. You're putting some solid lap times. You're still ahead of Alex Natty. You've got a good 3-lap lead over him. You've got no worries behind. Yeah, just get your head down, mate. It's a big gap. It is a big gap. There's no two ways about it. But anything can happen, my friend. Anything can happen. To be fair, you have given us you've given us some great entertainment. To be fair, got much more screen time than somebody racing around in 10th place deserves. I'm joking, of course. But fantastic racing. Right. Chica, what are you doing, my friend? Are you closing this gap? You are still closing, but you're not closing it fast enough. 15 seconds. You need 1.2 seconds a lap quicker if you want any hope of nicking that 4th place. Or you need Zero to make a mistake. Or you need Mornata to hold him up for you for a little while. It's quite busy, that part of the racetrack at the moment. You've got Mornata there. Ahead of him is... don't look like this. So there's a couple of cars. There's a few cars. Oh! Does he keep straight? That's the only way. The only way you can stop hitting a wall there. You've got to let off the power and just let the car gently make it back onto the circuit. So he won't be lapping the car ahead for a little while yet. Certainly not a little while. Oh, and gets it wrong out the Forest Elbow as well. It's these long races. This is where the concentration starts to wane. It's where the tiredness sets in. It's where the fatigue in the limbs starts to come through. You've been driving, even whether you're on a controller or whether you're in a rig. You've been putting your body through the mill a little bit, and it's where mistakes start to happen. What is that? What I need to know what they're cooking. What are you cooking? 1 second, guys. Girls, what are you cooking? Yeah, what is it? Huh? Waffle. Smells well nice. Yeah, make me a waffle. Woohoo, waffles. They're making waffles. It smells gorgeous. Love being in the kitchen. The smell of food. Anyone else want a waffle? I'll tell you what, get us to 500 subs, I'll send you one. Sausages. that was a chat that came through on the Black Flag. I've been minutes on Black Flag as well. And Slipstream Racing just said sausages. No, they're not cooking sausages, mate. But saying that now, I really fancy a sausage sandwich. I shouldn't really be. I had an Indian like 3 hours ago. I don't know why I'm still hungry. It wasn't a very big one. I can only eat a small Indian one at a time. You want a waffle? I'll put it in the post to Poland for you soon. I'll see if I can get to the post office on Monday and post you a warm waffle. Can't guarantee it'll still be warm when it gets there, unless I'll leave a note for the postman to sit on it in the van when he brings it to you. Good performance from you guys today. Shame you didn't get the win. Sharky set you all up nicely, but alas, it wasn't to be. Sausage sarnie and a waffle for dessert. Yeah, I'll send the lot to you, mate. You can pay the postage. I'll just whack it in an envelope without a stamp on it, shall I? Right, let's have a look. As Carl got his head back, it looks like he may well have done. He's been in repaired, got it sorted out. Is he going to start? Has he found the focus now? Hope he has. He's been racing so well all day. It's been a fantastic battle between him and Hijack Patty. He's a small Indian. Yeah, Indian meal, not an Indian man. Raj just didn't randomly knock on my door and we feasted like a bunch of angry cannibals on a small Indian man. He really pissed me off when I rang the call centre and I told him I'd eat him, so I did. Yes. Right, yeah, so Carl, phenomenal racing from Carl. Great battles between him and Hijack Patty. If there was an incident to be looked at, it will be looked at, but I have no doubt by the stewards after the race, who will make their judgment on what happened. At the back, Red is still starting on. I'll start on the face and work my way down. The toes are the nastiest bit. You always eat the best bits first, just in case you can't eat it all.
What do you want on your waffle?
Just the waffle, please. Don't want anything on it. So we're looking at Raider now. Raider is putting in the pace of a front runner, running in 13th position. There is no hope, I don't think, without some crazy miracle of him catching Natty. Natty's 2 laps ahead of him. But it is phenomenal pace from him in AMG. Really, really getting a great performance out of that car. Natty up ahead. That's the Citroen, isn't it? No, that's also the Mercedes. I'm talking about Citroen. I don't know why it looks like a Citroen badge. It's a funny shape. It's the also in the Mercedes-Benz. He's there in 12th position, and he is a good 2 laps behind Kyle, who's gone for the mill a little bit. It's been a great battle. I would say a good 40 of the 62 laps have been in battle with Hijack Patty, and it's a shame now he's a minute behind him with significant work to do. Yeah, absolutely. It's brilliant spirit to be putting in those kind of lap times after 12 hours of racing. Still putting in lap times that the guys out in front would rival. Certainly MK would love to be putting in. If MK was putting in those kind of times, the gap wouldn't be 4 minutes. So yeah, it's phenomenal that he's been able to do it. Hijack Patty, the other half of the great battles with Carl. We'll see what comes of anything when the stewards look at it. But moving swiftly on, there is Ayer. He is bringing the team home in 9th place, bar something horrible happening to himself or someone around. But it's going to be 9th, I think, for the American, who came and had a chat with me earlier. There's Brent, still closing on his teammate. We can't ignore this because that's 3.1 seconds. They've still got 11 laps of racing to go. He's just put in his fastest lap of the race at a 2:01.6, which was 1.1 seconds faster than Brumadinho. So this could be an interesting battle of teammates as the light starts to fade here at Bathurst. Now it's going to be cooler, which means there could be some quicker lap times coming. Of course, when it's dark, it makes it a little bit harder for us to see, harder for them to see. But yes, that gap is really coming down now. And if I were Brumadinho, I would be on the blower They're probably on chat together now anyway. You would expect that teammates would be in before team orders. Philo is on lap 207. There's on lap 57. He's not far off being finished. Are they going for the photo finish? That would be interesting. I would quite like to see them duking it out to the line, rather than going for the photo finish. While it is cool, I want to see them battling it out to the line. I think that would be the best way to finish this race, with a last lap fight. Dishwasher. If they're not in the dishwasher, they're not in the sink, then they're in the drawer.
Well, there is, but anything is dirty, it's not.
Bloody kids don't have a mate, they're horrible. Yeah, I want to see him battle it out. 2.9 seconds now, he's closing, and he's closing fast. It's going to be too dark for a photo finish anyway. I'd much rather see him crash into each other the line. Big ball of flames, loads of drama, loads of crying, big fight on Discord. Be awesome. Damage for Mornata. Thanks, my waffle. Guys, seriously, we need smell-o-vision. This stuff smells awesome. And if the dog sticks his nose on my waffle again, I'm going to bite it. And then I'll be eating dog and waffle. Oh, that is awesome. Ah, fuck, it's hot. Ah, god damn it, that's really hot. That's really, really hot. Yeah. Talk amongst yourself for a minute. That's what you get for being a greedy bastard. I've lost sound. Why have I lost sound? We've lost game sounds. I don't know if you guys have lost the game sounds, but I certainly have in my ear. Ooh, interesting. Don't know why. I've lost the game sounds in my ear. Have you guys lost it as well? It's still flashing, so I know it's there, but it's not playing for me. It could just be at my end. Yeah, so on to the damage for more natter and my tongue for eating something. Yeah, if you can hear the sound of the cars, and that's fine. It's just the monitor that's not working. I can turn it up. Yeah, let me turn it up a little bit. As I said, I've got another chat open on Black Flag, and I've just been told he can hear the sound of brum brums, so we know it's still there. Oh, hang on. We'll get on to the damage to my tongue in a minute. When I've properties of that one. Turn it off and back on again. No, I'm not getting the game sounds. Oh well. Is what it is. I can't, but it doesn't matter. You can, which is all that really matters. So there we go. Yes, some damage to the car there. With 8 laps remaining, he's got a significant. He can pit. He's not going to lose anything by pitting. He is how far ahead? Significantly. He's got a lap over Brumadinho. So yeah, he's he may as well. It's 1 minute 48 seconds. He may as well pit and repair that damage and bring the car home. Oh, it's really weird with no car noise in my ear. Really weird. Might as well take the headphones off. Not listening to anything now. Right, so we've got where's that battle we're looking for? There we go. Brent. Out to 5 seconds. So did he have a problem on this lap? It looks like he was. He's coming up behind Redder. I don't know if Redder is holding him up. It can't be holding him up. He's pretty darn quick, is Redder at the moment. 2026 his last lap. Brumadinho was a 2022. That doesn't account for 4.7 seconds. This waffle is real good. It's better now. It's not burning my face. Oh, massive error. That's a big hit. That's a very big hit. That battle chasing his teammate is over. It is so over. Let's view it from his viewpoint, because this is what it would have looked like when he hit the wall. He's got that slipstream already. You can see here the slipstream's kind of thrown him off a little bit. He's missed that braking zone. He's gone far too late on the brakes and just lost control coming around that right-hander, and boom, that's damage. That's loads of damage. So he's not, his teammate is not, there's going to be no photo finish, and there's certainly going to be no battle for 8th place. You ungrateful gits. Ruined it for everybody, you know. You've 12 hours they've been waiting for you to get it on, and you've ruined it for everybody. It's my thing's struggling to pair with the thingy for some reason. It's just told me in my ear it's pairing. Yeah, so yeah, fight finish is over, and I think you should be ashamed of yourselves not keeping that battle to the last lap. Right, anyone else having a fight? Well, that's over. That's more than over. Chica's got to go on those medium compound tyres. 36 seconds, which is a gap now. Can't remember whether he's put the... Who's going to have to pit? Ciro's going to have to pit. The gap is 36 seconds. I was going to say he's closed the gap to Timlord to 34, but he does have to pit still. And I imagine he's going to put on the medium compound tyre. That brings Chica right into the window of a possible battle. So we might forgive Brent and Brumadinho for not giving us the battle we wanted, because it looks like Chica might be bringing one for us. 37 seconds at the moment. It's 28 seconds just to go in and change tyres and come back out, but he's going to need to put some fuel on board. Brumadinho in the pits. Why is he going in? Medium tyres. Does that change things for Brent then? Does that bring that battle back to us as well? God, imagine that. Got 2 battles on the last lap and I can't decide which one to go for. Oh my god, this waffle's so good. You like waffles. I should really be talking to you and not eating, shouldn't I? But I'm close. What have you got? Right, let's have a look. When is Ciro going to come in? Is he going to come in at the end of this lap? It's getting dark, it's getting hot in the cars, isn't it? There is a way to fix this. Give me a sec. I don't know if I can do it from this screen. I can't, I'll have to go back to the lobby to do it. You can change the resolution and make it brighter, but if I do that, I'll lose all my keyboard controls, and I'm far too lazy to do it by hand. Right, so we've got that. That's a potential battle still, I think. 21 seconds is the gap. I think that battle might still be on. Brett just needs to just find his rhythm again after that crash. That battle is done. As whatever Carl does now, he has found his pace again. He's starting to find that rhythm again, but he's not going to close on a hijack Patty anytime soon. That is Alex Natty coming through, unlapping himself on hijack Patty. It was looking pretty quick. Natty on Patty. Don't get too cratty. Catty? Shatty? I don't know. Where's it gone? There it is. What if we get the finish time we want? That's a really good point. What if we get the finish time for a car switches to racing medium? Well, they don't have to do a full lap at least. So in the pits and back out and round. So surely if they're... Yeah, good point. Oh yeah. Yeah, they just have to make sure they do it. My thing's not paired to my Ujima flip. Oh, it's eerily silent in my ear now. Really, really odd. Right, Redder, still putting in those blistering times. Here, Chica and Ciro, 37 seconds. Ciro's got to go into the pits. Philo is on his penultimate lap, so they're going to have to. All those guys that haven't run medium are going to have to go in now. They've got no choice. They've got to go in now because they will befool the timer potentially. What did you do tonight? I watched some guys racing and listened to somebody eat a waffle in London. Hijack with damage. He does indeed have damage. Is that significant enough for Kyle to catch him? Is he going to risk going in the pits? He's got Chica coming right up behind him. So Wilson, he's going to have to let Chica through. He has to let Chica through. Chica is chasing down a place in 4th. Yeah, it's when things start to go wrong. You get near the end, you get all excited that it's getting near the end, and that's when mistakes can happen. I've got my sounds back. Oh. So damage for Carl, damage for Patty. Okay, that battle's done. Carl's going into repair yet again, but he does have that massive cushion. Right. So Philo Engineering's on the final lap. Up into the mountain he goes. Then the timer will begin. So Ciro's going to need to get in the pits. Really going to need to get in the pits. He is in there now, so we're going to watch Chica. I don't want to miss Philo crossing the line. We know where he is. We'll keep an eye on that. There is Chica. He's just coming up to the chase now. He's got a little bit of slipstream that he's picking up from New Jack City, just ahead of him, or Hijack Patty, however you want to call him. Where is Ciro? Ciro just coming out of the pits now. He's on the mediums. He's very, very low on fuel. Very, very low on fuel. He's opted not to put any on board, but they're both quite low. Look at this. They're gambling that they're going to not have to race to the end. That they're going to race the timer, and that the fuel is going to last. If one of them runs out before the other, particularly if it runs out for Ciro before Chica, this could be all over. Final lap for Philo. One last corner. Philo Engineering for the TDR team brings it home with an emphatic win here at Bathurst. Brings the AMG across the line, and the timer begins. It's 3 minutes to the end of this race. MK, is MK even going to make it? I don't think. No other driver actually is going to get close. He is. He's finished now. MK's finished. Tim Law is done. He's holding on. Ciro's going to hold on. He's going to make it. Is he going to make it? I'm looking at the fuel. He's going to make it. He should make. Yeah, he'll certainly make the line. Chica is driving like a demon. Absolutely giving it everything he's got on this last lap. 13 seconds, that's the closest he's going to get battle-wise. There's literally no battles to watch. 6 seconds there, maybe. Has Brent got anything left? He's got Zero Fight for company there. Zero Fight helping him, but I think he's actually going to cross the line. Possibly, yeah, he's not going to make it. So, Mornata is across the line. Next across the line will be Zero. He held on for DCT for 4th place. Although at one stage, a couple of stages of this race, it looked like Chica was giving him a bit of squeaky bum time. But he does make it across the line. Zero across. There we go. Zero has crossed the line. Chica home in 5th. 6th was Mornata. Brumadinho in 7th. 8th was Brent. 9th was Hot Air, and all the rest. And la 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 la. I can eat all my waffle now. Right. Final stint finishes as such. Philo Engineering. Dominant as hell. 2 laps clear. And the fastest lap of the race. Possibly the fastest lap of the entire day. MK second. Timnor is third. Zero Fight for DCT in 4th. 5th was Chica. Mornata in 6th. Brumadinho 7th. 8th was David Brent. It wasn't David Brent, it's just Brent. 9th was Hot Air. Hijack Patty in 10th. 11th was Kyle David. David C. Alex Natty in 12th and bringing up the rear with a 1 second penalty for whatever that was for, I don't know, was Raider. His fastest lap was a 2:01.0, which I think was the second fastest lap of the day. It was. Back there in 13th place, he actually brought out the second fastest lap of the day. But that's something to note there. 1:59.5. No one was within a second of that. Insane. Absolutely insane. What? Yeah, you know what? Great freaking race. The whole day has been great freaking racing. Right, I wonder if anyone's going to come and have a chat with me. Let's have a little looky see. Does anyone want to join me in race interviews? We'll have a little natter, talk about the end of the race, talk about what went on. If you're going to come in and moan about people crashing into you, I'm going to mute you, so don't do that. We want to talk about happy things. But you lot decide what you're doing. I'm going to keep eating my waffle. I've only got a couple of bites of it left now. Great freaking waffle, man. That's good. It's good. Go there, let's bring that up. There we go. Discord. I'm going to go to the race interviews channel if someone wants to join me. I'm in here waiting for you. Let me shut that down. Yeah, that was good. That was yeah, awesome finish there. It would have been nice if the top three were a bit closer, I think. But overall, phenomenal racing from everybody. I think they've all put in a fantastic shift today. Yeah, great effort all round. Nice tasty beverage to wash it down with. I'm not going to hang around all day. If no one jumps in the chat, I'm going to disappear. So, what else can we say? Really, other than that, has been a phenomenal race. Philo Engineering and the whole TDR design, or whatever they're called. They were a phenomenal team. They've been absolutely on point all day. Really demonstrated some fantastic pace. You've got to give good, solid credit to everybody, really, because everybody's put in a shift today, really have. MK, really good performance in that 911 in stint 4 and stint 5 to hold on to second, despite the fact he was lacking a bit of pace to the guys behind. Tim Law set himself up really well for a third place finish with his stint in what was it, stint 4 it was. He had a long standing battle actually with Zero Fight throughout that stint, and they were fighting at the time much further down the field for I think it was for 4th and 5th at the time, but set himself up well, put his teammate in a good position to make it easy for them, and came out in third and never really looked back, those three. And once they came out, I think the work was done for them by their colleagues in the stint before to ensure that it was nice and easy for them. Zero Fight did have a little go. Chica certainly was trying to put the moves on Zero Fight, but just couldn't rein that long time in and get him in the end. But you know, it is what it is. Some great battles across the racetrack completely. I think Jager's just jumped in to chat to me. You there, Jager? Jager, you there? Oh, hang on. Helps if I turn the sound on so I can hear you. That would be useful, wouldn't it?
I can hear you in chat.
I can hear you now. I had you muted. Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
Boo you. So yeah, I'm doing great. Had a nice.
It was a very
your stream, nice event. So yeah, as I said in chat, congrats to all the drivers, all the teams. Great event. Shout out to all the admin team, to all the streamers. Here, it was a great watch.
It was really good, and I was a little bit worried when because I was eating my food and I was kind of watching your broadcast, and I was getting a little bit worried that I was going to come and watch essentially 13 cars, 2 laps apart each, just going round for 2 hours. But we did have a couple of little battles there in the end that gave us something worth watching. Philo was like off. Oh, hello, Philo. Philo was off doing his thing, doing his time trial out in front. But there was a few things going on behind him, which were quite interesting. That was a really good battle, actually, and it almost went on for about 30 to 40 laps. We had that battle between Hijack Patty and Carl David that was going on. I mean, Carl held him off for ages, made the mistake at the end of the Conrod, and then we saw Hijack take the position from him. Then he lost it again. That was some great battling. Anything? Thoughts? Philo?
Talk to us. Don't be shy.
Very tough race.
Oh, here we go. GG's, buddy. 159.5 on that final stint.
I did get a bit of draft, so
Okay.
I will say thank you to Tim Law and was it Zabi? Second.
Oh, that was MK.
MK. Yeah, because he was very fast.
Yeah, he was. I think the one thing that let MK down actually, because he put in a 2:01.4, which was actually I think that was one of the second or third fastest lap of the race. But he unlike you, that was maintaining those really really solid times and not really giving up many tenths each lap. He couldn't maintain the consistency to really put any pressure on you, which is a bit of a shame. Really, it would have been nice to see someone close the gap on you. I mean, when it opened to 3 minutes, you must have been thinking, "This is a walk in the park now, right?"
No, you can't say that. Not with what that would be. 4 hours in, and you've still got an extra 8 hours left. That's still quite a long time where mistakes can happen. And yeah, I was shown today that consistency really matters.
Absolutely. I was talking about it a little bit during the stream. There is that the guys in the midfield that were doing the consistent laps, that would find their pace, wouldn't over push the car, and find that kind of pace that they could maintain lap after lap after lap, were the ones that seemed to gain a position or two throughout the day. So they might be racing in 4th or 5th, but they might find as the day progresses they're moving up a position here, a position there, because of that consistency. And I think that is what makes a difference, particularly in these kind of endurance races, is to not necessarily drive at the very pinnacle of your speed, to trying to push it over the edge, but maybe back off a tenth or two to guarantee you can nail that time and keep nailing that time.
Yeah, that's what ultimately matters. You have to be consistent throughout the entire duration of the race. That's ultimately what wins you races. Otherwise, what are you going to do? You're going to pit and because you got damage or whatnot, you made a mistake, or you crashed into someone, you got a post-race penalty. It's not going to look good, especially if you have a team of 4 other drivers as well. It's going to make you feel bad. So ultimately, you can't really take big risks, especially in endurance racing, because everything's got a so-on effect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still, you told very early. I think the first 2 stints for TDR racing were blistering pace with Tank Pro and yourself there. We were like, after those 2 stints, just you and the RX team on the lead lap. That was crazy.
It was insane. I mean, it must have been quite agonising for your teammates, particularly they're coming to the pits and wait, and obviously the next stint's off and gone, but they've got to sit there in the lobby for another 8, 9, 10 laps, particularly when you get sort of for stint 5, to wait for everybody to get in so they can finish. And I mean, by that stage you've done 2 hours, you're knackered, you just want to kind of get up, have a little walk about, do whatever. So I suppose from that respect it's quite agonising, isn't it? It's probably worse doing that than it is for the guys who have to sit and wait 10 laps before they can go.
Well, that's why I've got an utmost respect for the commentators and admin and hosts, because they ultimately run the league, which takes even more time than just driving, because you can't just turn up and drive, as opposed to figure out who's in which lobby, who's racing where. You got to add who so and so, and you got to make it look good.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I can't speak for Jaeger, but for me, I basically just sit here in my chair with a beer on one side. I got my daughter to bring me a waffle, which was fantastic, and then I basically just talk shit for 2 hours.
Keep pre-planning then the stint plans and all of this, and then getting the hosts and the race directors in, and so yeah, it takes a bit of an effort there to organize all of it. So also a big shout out to Mr. T here for keeping it together. And so, and yeah,
get stuff on this stuff. It's hard work. It's hard work, and yeah, credit to all the admin.
And so, luckily today, so I think we didn't have any issues in the lobby, so no disconnect throughout the entire race day. It is amazing to see. Also, quite good lobbies. I think coming down to lag or so, it was one of the best.
Yeah, considering like how widely spread the nations were as well. Usually, when you get that kind of big spread of different nations across Europe and America and sort of the outer reaches, you tend to find there tend to be lobby problems. But I was pleasantly surprised today just how stable the lobbies were. It's really unusual for PD. They should be proud of themselves today.
Would I be correct in saying that all the servers for Gran Turismo Sport have been turned off now?
They have been turned off. So I did question whether they're now using those servers to give them additional power, maybe.
Yeah.
I watched the stream yesterday of a custom lobby race asylum. This was like one of the worst lobbies I've ever seen. Coming down to lag, I was a bit worried. So still after sport servers. So it's probably still luck of the day. Also, if we get a good lobby or a bad one, but having like 6 2-hour lobbies throughout the day and not having a single disconnect.
I think it helps as well, particularly with the endurance racing, because the cars are a little bit more spread out. There's not so much information at a time needing to be on the screen. I mean, in the early stages, of course, you've got the cars all quite bunched close together. But I think as the race goes on and they spread out a bit, they're not under huge stress of having to provide oodles of information to everybody very quickly, which I suppose helps. I hope so, anyway. I don't know how it works.
Yeah,
I just push buttons.
I would say so, you're right.
Guys,
I think weather does have
It's been awesome today. Watching you race, watching just the quality of the racing throughout, the sportsmanship throughout as well. Some great sportsmanship. There was no real issues under blue flags that you usually get. Even those that were in a fight were quite quick to get out of the way and make it as easy as possible. Because Bathurst is one of those places where if you catch a blue flag at the wrong place, it can be an absolute nightmare and tends to cause a lot of problems. But I didn't really see any of those today. So credit to every driver that got in that situation and dealt with it, I'd say.
Also shows for now the amount of incident reports is quite low for this 12-hour race, so hope it stays that way, so it saves the admins and stewards a little bit of work in the aftermath. Yeah. Yes, but yeah, what I could tell as well, so all drivers try to be very clean and
yeah, I think there was one incident that will probably go by the stewards from that stint, but I didn't see anything in stint 4 that I think was steward worthy. So I think, yeah, you're right. I think for 12 hours of racing, you would expect to have a lot of paperwork to go through, but actually, I don't think there's going to be that much.
Fingers crossed for that. Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. Listen, guys, it's 20 past 10. I've been broadcasting for about 6 hours today, so I'm going to open one more beer. I'm going to put on the TV. I'm going to put my legs up. It's been absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. And I can't wait. For the next race. When's that? It's Nürburgring next, isn't it? Oh, I love it. 24 hours around Nurbs. Got to love a bit of that. One. Yeah, looking forward to it. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I've been Urbanpyrate. This has been yet another ERF event, the first one of 2024, and it was awesome. It's been emotional.